All right, guys. So we're sitting here in my backyard now, with the gear that we took out on our first two kind of training trial trips.
The Mojave and the mountain excursion or adventure.
So we figured that there would be some people that want to see what we had in this, and we also wanted to talk a little bit about how we definitely, you know, had too much stuff in here.
Well, and that's what the show, like, I mean, that's really what we're doing. It's the average, is like what we think we need.
Yeah.
And it was even we had with the food. Like, there was always like too much food.
Even though when we were bringing the, you know, setting up the food before we left, it seemed like, wow, this isn't that much stuff.
Like, hopefully it's enough, and it was like way too much. But
so, you know, with the packs, we set up the packs before we even went on an adventure. So with that in mind, that's kind of like the backwards way of doing it, but still it's a way to learn.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And your pack is different from mine. In addition to that, and we're not going to go into detail because we're going to probably at some point do a video on our camera equipment. So not so bad for the Mojave, because we had like what you refer to as conveyance.
We had the truck and the trailer close to us, because we had to go so far into the desert, we couldn't walk that.
Well, not just that, we're not experts. It's dangerous. The Mojave is a dangerous. Like, do you think about how much water we drank?
Yeah.
If we didn't have conveyance, we would have run out, and there's no water source.
No way to pack that much water in.
We're here to make videos, not die in them. You know what I mean? Like, I want to live.
True. So yeah, as far as camera equipment goes, this one here packs inside my pack. It's got batteries and lenses and a bunch of different stuff, but this goes into my pack normally. And then I actually have to carry this guy in, which has more cameras, more lenses, more mics.
Yeah. If you guys watch survival shows, you know, if you've seen it without mentioning them, you know certain people that go in there by themselves and they have to lug actually way more than this. It's a lesson though. Like,
I would say this is about,
again though, just like
pounds.
The food, how often did you even go into that?
Not much.
Yeah.
Not much, but we needed it, because if you don't have it...
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
And now we know, like, how well we can get away with stuff. So that was your camera gear. This was one of my camera gears. Also, I had this, which has the other camera, and there's another stand in there and the other GoPro stick. So we've got that sort of stuff in there as well. Not to mention, you know, for social purposes, like with our phones and stuff. Like, I was taking pictures, so it wasn't just for fun. It was like, okay, as soon as we take pictures, we tweet it out so that people can see what we're doing. So lots of technology you bring in just to get the show going.
And then, of course, the camera and mic that we're recording with now.
Yeah. Which is
our primary.
Yeah. And we'll show you that, because we think the setup is just brilliant.
Yeah,
like,
I think it works out pretty good with the audio quality. You know, that's what we strive for, audio and video quality, even in the craziest, roughest areas. That's hard to get. You have to go the extra mile to get that stuff, and that's what we like to do.
Yeah, I think it worked out great. We want to start with day packs, maybe?
Yeah, let's start with day packs, because this big boy here, you've got a traditional style backpack.
Yeah, this is like MEC in Canada, or REI here in the US. Same thing. This thing is actually great. Vented on the back, lightweight, lots of webbing.
And you carried both of our waters.
Yeah, so I carried the water bottles on the side. I'll show you the water bottles after as well if you haven't seen the videos already, but just on the sides there. So
mainly water, like Cliff Bars and camera gear is what was
like
in
stands and stuff like
was in the day packs. And then he had bear spray.
More camera gear.
You know, if we reference the mountains, you had bear spray on your hip.
Yeah, I don't have the bear spray on me.
Right. So this was my day pack, which is, it's a little chest rig kind of that just sits here, and you can actually wear it at the same time with your backpack. In the back compartment is where I kept my gun. And I just carry that as a safety, as a backup and emergency thing, and it stays hidden in here.
And you can get a bigger one for where you ordered that. Where did you get that?
This is Hill People gear out of Colorado.
And you ordered it online?
I ordered it from their website,
yeah.
But I kept my gun in there and kept that zipped up. But interestingly enough, this small pack, I have a lot of stuff in here.
Oh, yeah.
So I have, and as you're wearing it, it folds open like this. So I had my gloves in here, but I used them a platypus water bladder.
An animal.
I had a map of the area.
Yeah.
Then I have obviously a knife, a flashlight, a multi-tool. I've got some bank line.
I have a multi-tool, eh?
I've got bank line. I've got a fire steel in here. I've got a first aid kit.
Your compass.
I got a compass and some Carmex, you know, chapstick, and my gun. And I think it's a pretty good pack for that.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, in our mountain climb, you know, it was really tiring.
Yeah.
You had that, and I was carrying all the water.
Yeah.
So how did that work out?
I had the camera. I think day pack we're pretty solid. It's probably the easier thing to figure out, which is the day packs.
Yeah, for sure.
But these packs here are the big boys. 50 plus pounds as they sit right now. Oh no, I take that back. 50 plus with our water and food. We don't have our water and food in
so
here.
it's not in there right now. But
so both of us actually have the same pack. I have a few packs, but this is my favorite. Because
from the Mystery Ranch.
Yeah, it's the way the system is. It's the nice frame.
Yeah,
NICE. And it rides really good.
Just like really well made for your back, like just.
These things are actually for if you're wearing body armor, so the pack fits better, but it fits to your sides really good because it's firm.
And these things are awesome on the hips. The super thick padding on there.
Really adjustable for torso lengths and stuff like that. But you know, Mystery Ranch, they're not cheap, but they're super durable. And again, mine's a traditional ruck with just one big pouch with a couple on the outside.
Well, they can see it. You turn yours around and then look
mine's short. Mine's short and fat. Mine's short and fat, and yours is a little bit taller and slender. Yeah. But I added this piece to the top. This is a secondary. This
for your Snickers bars.
Well, it's called this could be used as a day pack.
Oh yeah.
So if you roll that back, here's the actual lid to it. Yeah. But this is an extra piece that I added on, and I've got a lot of gear in here.
You were like, you know what, this isn't heavy enough. I'm gonna add some more weight to it.
I should do some more. Let's get into what's in the goods. I think inside we basically have the same type of setup.
Once we're done going all through this, I think we'll talk about what we would probably change in the overall setup and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, quickly, I'm just gonna show you guys I had a tarp. It's both of us have AquaQuest tarps. His is green, and I got camo because I like camo. Mine's actually a little bit smaller than yours.
Oh, is it?
This is my Jetboil.
And this is the one, by the way, that we set up in the mountain survival.
That's the one
here.
there.
So it's quite big.
I got my Jetboil and my gas inside this little Kafaru
because you don't have these tubes on the outside. No, but you got tons of pockets.
Well, here's the thing. I'm carrying 2 stoves.
Yeah.
I was going to try out another one, but I ended up packing 2 different
That's another
stoves.
video. We can try them out.
Snug Pack jungle blanket.
Yeah.
We can cover this gear in other videos. This is basically an overview of what we had. I had
more detailed.
Snug Pack Special Forces sleeping bag. I have the Nemo sleeping pad, questionable with my weight.
Questionable.
And then my tent is a Mountain Hardware Punker 1 tent.
The headbanger, we'll call that one.
Yeah, and then just a few more things. A blow-up pillow from Sea to Summit.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. This is nice.
Oh, yeah.
I have a Tyvek.
This was your idea of putting that. I never used any soft drop cloth, though.
Well, your tent is stronger on the bottom,
it
seems.
It's thick.
It's like a bathtub. So a little Tyvek for ground cloth. And then my secret weapon here.
Yeah, every time you pull that, I'm like, oh man, I'm like sitting on like hard surface. You're like, I got this. It's like you're at a ball game or something.
It's a stadium cushion,
You're like, I'm carrying the weight.
Feel how light it is.
I know. Oh yeah, that's mad light.
And it slides in a big...
I would definitely bring one of these in my pack next.
It slides in a big pouch there.
Not comfortable people. Sitting on rocks and logs all the time.
Perfectly. That's everything that's inside mine with the exception of a little pack towel from REI.
Right, my stuff is very similar. Paracord never used. We never use this, especially if you and I do dual. Like that's something to keep in mind too. If you're going with someone else, try and not duplicate things because this was never used, never needed.
And I used all my bank line up.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as you carry that, the same thing with food. Like like what we learned with the rations, we had way too much.
Yeah.
You know, triple. Fire kit that Meaty made for me as well. So it's got, you know, we can go through all that stuff later in other videos, but fuel. The Reactor Stove by MSR, which was kind of a cool thing. And I had this, I never used this, but it's a pot scraper.
Oh yeah. Well,
so it's harder on this side, like to really get the, and then
we tried to eat out of like the bean cans and stuff.
And on this side, I brought this for the mountain, which is my MEC gloves and hat, or a toque or whatever you want to call.
It's a toque.
But it really it didn't get that cold. It got chilly.
It didn't get, I was sleeping in like, shorts, no socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not that cold, really.
Don't forget to pack this, people, because it's going to be very uncomfortable.
Look at, and take a fair amount. Take an honest amount. If you're going to be out there 2 days, you need a good amount.
A good amount of that stuff. And I think, and some
full of it.
Bio. So this is like a environmentally friendly soap, camp soap.
You had soap?
Yeah. That's right. That's why I didn't smell as bad as you. And I've got my tent, which
is a beast.
I'm not, you know, again, we can go into tents at some other video, but the overall for me is like, this was a bit too much. But it's a well company, like built, like.
Once it was up, it was great. It was hard to. It was hard to put it up because
not
of all
so bad in the mountain. A pain in the butt in the desert.
The stakes
not good.
Work.
If you're in sand. No.
Yeah,
hey, how come I got 2 rolls? Do I got your roll too? You've been packing me up like a.
No, look, mine is the roll that's full. Yours is the one that's half full.
Yeah. This, like a pullover or a hoodie or whatever. Again, for the mountain, not obviously the desert, because that was not necessary. You know, extra clothes. I'm not going to get into that. Wool socks. I think, and I brought too much clothing too. You know, because you're not really changing unless you soiled your stuff.
You could get away with 1 pair of pants and
and that's
underwear
what I did.
And shirts. Yeah.
So on the bottom here, the bottom of my pack here is where I have air mattress. It's just pretty big because I mean you can get those what is it, self-inflating, and they're really thin, but
they're heavy.
We're not 20 years old and we're not 150 pounds soaking wet. Like, I mean, we've got some weight. And with my back,
running through here, this region right here,
taco time.
too happy at the taco stand.
And this I absolutely love. I was actually nervous. Yeah. So this is a compression sack.
Oh yeah.
But the sleeping bag, which I'm not going to take out right now, is from MEC. So it's the MEC brand.
Oh, okay.
Rated for -7 Celsius.
Right.
So I don't know what that would be, like just under 30 or something, or around 30.
Yeah, a little below freezing.
A little bit below there, but it was down-filled, and man, like in the mountains, what an awesome sleeping
bag. But in the desert, you slept on top of it.
Yeah, it was way too hot. It did get a little bit chilly in the middle of the night.
It got down to 50 in the desert, but still.
So
now, yeah, the other thing is, if you guys want to see more detail of some of this stuff, we can definitely do that in other videos. But right now, it's kind of like the pack overview of what we had in.
This is our first packing, though, like with no experience, not knowing what to put in. And that being said, like for me, I'll start. I think as amazing, because I like durability, which is why I got this Hillberg tent, because it's like strong. It's meant for expeditions. And I'm like, I don't care about the weight, blah, blah, blah. Right. And the same thing with these packs that we have by Mystery Ranch, built to last. Like, these things are durable. You don't care about it. But the starting weight of these things, like this, there was way too much weight.
We're like 6 pounds over a lightweight backpack.
Yeah. These things are actually, with nothing in it, there's still a lot of weight to these things. And we haven't even started putting all our other stuff in. So too much food, heavy packs. I got a heavy tent, and although your tent was lighter,
it didn't fit me.
You actually have to go up in that.
It's too small of a tent. I have a couple other things here. I have this is actually a trauma kit, so it's for bleeding, punctures, gunshot wounds, stuff like that.
You pushed me in the lava
for trauma. Yeah. We use these types of flexible Nalgene bags to hump in more water. This is my fire kit. And then I have Shamog. And then this is a first aid kit that I took a standard one. I kind of built, inside here we have some Vaseline, bug repellents, Carmexes, a lot of stuff that I've kind of just added.
And there's a difference between what's in there and the trauma kit.
Totally different. That's like anticoagulants, Celox, and
that's
blood
more
stoppers.
Serious. And while you think, oh, well, it's overkill, but again, if you're in these environments, if something happens, you're like, oh, make the bag extra light. I would be grateful if you had that. If I broke something and I broke skin.
The way I look at it is, if I'm packing a gun, I'm going to pack a trauma kit.
Yeah.
This is like an IFAK, if you guys are familiar with that in a way, but the IFAK would be a combination of these two. This is strictly trauma, for heavy bleeding. There's cat tourniquets in here, stuff like that. And I actually take this really serious. So anything that I didn't know about, I read up on. I said, how to apply the tourniquet correctly. How do you use Celox or blood stop? And
there's one thing having it, but if you don't know what you're doing and when to use it,
I read up on it because if I'm going to carry it, I better know how to use it.
And what about the other factor though? Like our kits are heavy, and we're definitely going to be able to lighten them up for the next thing that we do. Like absolutely, because we know what we want, what we don't want. Like even with my tent, I'm going to go with something lighter. You're going to get something bigger, but there's repetitious stuff. However, things like guns, people talk about, if you see a lot of people like, oh, the chances of you coming across this are so slim, don't bother with this, or who cares about the bear spray, or who cares about the gun that was strictly for personal protection.
Hidden away.
But like you said, I'd rather have it than not need it. I don't care about the likelihood that it's not going to happen. If something does happen, you're going to be like, damn it, well, like, why didn't I do that?
Well, a lot of people, you hear the same story from them. Well, bears are more afraid of you than they, bears are more afraid of humans than the other way around.
Yeah, when you can black bear, you can get big and they scare away.
And mountain lions, really? I mean, how many people have come face to face with a mountain lion and counted on the fact that, well, other people said you were just going to walk away from me.
I'm not the bear whisperer. I don't really care. I'd rather...
There's a difference between going out recklessly and being abusive with a weapon or carrying a weapon, with respect to not
hunting.
We're not hunting, but it's respect to the environment, it's respect to the animals, it's respect to yourself. But if you, if you don't
the
have
danger, I would I'm glad you had that piece.
And I carry a 10mm Glock with hard cast lead bullets, buffalo bore for penetration. That if you're going to be attacked by a big game predator, you need penetration to break through those big bones and stuff to put them down and stop them. But we did have bear spray was our first.
That would have been the first line of defense. Bear spray, get him out of there. But if he's still aggressive for whatever reason and coming, because if you get sprayed in the eyes with bear spray, maybe he's like, oh really?
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, you better get the gun.
You just never know. I'm going to rely on my experiences and my abilities with protection, not what other people say. So if, like, we went out, we had no encounters. So what did it matter that I had that packed away in my little things?
Sense of security.
It affected nobody. And, it's different if you're going to go to an area where you might encounter other people on trails and you're packing heat out on your hip.
There
might not be...
It can intimidate them, make them feel...
there might be other people that say, wow, that guy's got a gun. So if you're going to do it, just...
Have it concealed.
Have it concealed for defense, for personal defense. That's just the way I feel. Other people do things differently.
So how do you feel then, like your next expedition? Are you going to try one of those ultralights?
Backpacks?
Yeah.
No, I love this one. I really do.
Maybe
it's
we just gotta get used to the weight.
It's like, in this one over here, I packed an actual full Esbit stove kit over here. And the Jetboil.
Oh yeah.
So there's
which were awesome. The Jetboil and the Reactor Stove, friggin' amazing stoves.
I've got a whole Esbit kit here with, I was gonna try this, but once we use the other stoves, I mean, look, I've got
solid fuel.
Solid fuel. This comes out. This sits on top. I mean, this is a full. There's some weight here. This whole thing could be deleted if I'm going to be carrying the Jetboil.
Well, there's lots of stuff that we can probably lighten the load with and everything.
I think I could easily take 10 pounds off of this.
Well, I learned, because I'm not an outdoorsy. Well, like, I like the outdoors, but I don't get enough out there now. My back was not good for this. You know what I mean? And I know I have to lighten this. I mean, it's just reality, right? Again, it's the average person carrying a load like that.
Why did I have to pack the poo shovel?
Because I needed it.
You did. So it's actually,
you can't say never been used. Look at that.
It's actually the law where we go that you have to carry a shovel to bury human waste. So I had this little SOG shovel here that I packed in, and he goes, "Let me borrow the shovel."
I need the shovel.
Oh man. So we have a lot of little gadgets in here that we're not going to cover in this. Again, if you guys, I know a lot of people like to see that stuff. leave it in the comments below that you guys, if you really want to see some detailed, maybe of the fire kits, the knives that we use.
The comparison to your stoves, Jetboil and all that stuff. The stoves,
all that stuff. We can definitely do that stuff. But we're only going to do it if you guys really want that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Make sure it's in the comments. Make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. Those links are in the description below.
Yeah.
And if you got any ideas or places, you know, that you'd possibly like us to see, put them in the comments. Let us know. Hit us up on Facebook and Twitter.
That's right.